Hello and welcome to Express News. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. My name is Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with the top story. President Draupadi Murmu witnesses International Fleet Review 2026 at Visakhapatnam on Wednesday. Event showcases spectacular naval displays and coming together of navies from across the world. Addressing the gathering, the President said the International Fleet Review reflects unity, trust and respect among nations for maritime traditions. India's International Fleet Review reflects the unstoppable rise of country's global maritime power and enduring global partnerships. A short while ago, visiting dignitary Estonia, President Alarkaris met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi, where the two leaders held talks. Prime Minister Modi held a bilateral discussion with Croatia's Prime Minister Andrej Plenković on the sidelines of India AI Impact Summit. The two leaders exchanged views on ways to further strengthen relations and advance cooperation in new areas of mutual interest. Spanish President, who arrived for the India AI Impact Summit in New Delhi, held talks with Prime Minister Modi. Both leaders discussed a wide range of issues aimed at deepening India-Spain partnership. Finland's Prime Minister Petteri Orpo also met PM Modi on the sidelines of the India AI Impact Summit. They discussed cooperation in sustainability and digitalization, AI research and ethical innovation, and how Indian talent can strengthen bilateral collaboration. Serbian President Alexander Vučić has stated that AI Summit places India at the center of the global discourse. Serbian President also met PM Modi on Wednesday in New Delhi. And Google CEO Sundar Pichai will also attend the India AI Impact Summit. In fact, he'll attend the India AI Impact Summit. He met Prime Minister Modi on the sidelines of the summit. Google last year announced an investment of $15 billion over 5 years to set up an artificial intelligence data center in India's Andhra Pradesh. Brazil President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva arrived in New Delhi to participate in India AI Impact Summit. He was received by Minister of State for External Affairs Pavitra Margarita at the airport on Wednesday. Minister for Electronics and Information Technology Ashwini Vaishnav on Wednesday attended the opening ceremony of Research Symposium at Bharat Mandapam. Addressing the gathering, IT Minister expressed optimism about India's future while also asserting that AI must be safe and solve real-world challenges. India's Health Minister JP Nadda held talks with Alexandre Padilha, Minister of Health of Brazil, today in New Delhi on the sidelines of India AI Impact Summit. Prime Minister Modi has invited Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tariq Rahman to visit India at a mutually convenient time. The invitation was conveyed in a letter which was handed over by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. India's Foreign Secretary of India Vikram Misri on Tuesday had a courtesy meeting with the leader of opposition of Bangladesh and the Amir of Bangladesh, Dr. Shafiqur Rahman, on the margins of the swearing-in ceremony of the new government in Bangladesh. India and the United Kingdom have launched the India-UK Offshore Wind Task Force in New Delhi, marking a new step in their clean energy partnership. Speaking at the launch, New and Renewable Energy Minister Prahlad Joshi said India has over 272 gigawatt non-fossil fuel-based electricity generation capacity, including 141 solar and 55 gigawatt wind energy. British Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy congratulated India on its outstanding progress in the clean energy transition. All right, we'll get you the visuals now. These are the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting his Kazakh counterpart Olaz Bektenov on the sidelines of the AI Impact Summit being held in New Delhi. Today is the third day of the AI Impact Summit. Started on 16 February, that is on Monday, and will culminate on Friday. We are getting you these visuals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral talks with his Kazakh counterpart Olaz Bektenov. The two leaders discussed strengthening cooperation in artificial intelligence, digital innovation, trade and strategic sectors, signaling a forward-looking partnership between India and Kazakhstan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi have been holding bilaterals with different leaders. He met Spanish President also Pedro Sanchez in the morning. He also met Google CEO Sundar Pichai, who will attend the AI Impact Summit. So these are the visuals that we are getting you of Prime Minister Narendra Modi holding bilateral talks with his Kazakh counterpart Olaz Bektenov. The two leaders discussed strengthening cooperation in artificial intelligence, digital innovation, trade and strategic sectors, signaling a forward-looking partnership between India and Kazakhstan. All right, so these are the visuals that we are getting you. All right, in fact, we were getting you the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting his Kazakh counterpart Olaz Bektenov on the sidelines of India AI Impact Summit being held in New Delhi, today being the third day of the India AI Impact Summit. All right, we'll go back to Express News. Prahlad Joshi visited the stall of International Solar Alliance at the ongoing India AI Impact Summit. The minister took a tour of the stall and also interacted with various startups. BPCL completed a 10-inch 2.3-kilometer offshore sea to land horizontal directional drilling pull under the Mumbai Rasayani pipeline project, marking one of India's first offshore HDD crossings of this scale. Minister Hardeep Puri hailed the achievement. Indian equity indices ended on a positive note with Nifty up 93.95 points at 25,800 on February 18. At close, the Sensex was up to 83.29 points at over 83,000. Gold futures maturing on 2nd April was priced at 1,52,875 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for 5th March maturity stood at 2,37,142 rupees per kg on the MCX. The Indian rupee ended at 90.67 against the US dollar on Wednesday. The Brent oil futures is priced at $67.80 US dollars per barrel on Wednesday. Europe 600 climbs 0.8% to a record high, led by defence and banking stocks as investors track corporate updates and developments at the European Central Bank. United Kingdom's annual inflation eases to 3.0% in January, down from 3.4% in December, official data shows. YouTube restores services after a brief global disruption flagged by Down Detector. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is expected to be called as a witness on Wednesday in a closely watched social media addiction trial in Los Angeles after a woman claims that Facebook and Instagram are designed to addict the brains of children. The two-day US-mediated peace talks between Russia and Ukraine ended on Wednesday in Geneva. Russian chief negotiator Vladimir Medinsky said that more talks would be held soon. US envoy Steve Witkoff said on Wednesday the talks brought about meaningful progress in the Washington-led drive to end the Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday said US President Donald Trump is exerting undue pressure on Ukraine to make concessions in peace negotiations with Russia, warning that Ukrainians would never accept surrendering more territory. The second round of indirect nuclear talks between Iran and the United States concluded in Geneva on Tuesday, new talks to be scheduled. Arakchi said the talks were held in a more constructive atmosphere compared to the previous round in Oman, and a new window of opportunity has opened. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said that the purpose of the current talks with the United States is to resolve issues seriously, not to engage in dialogue for the sake of dialogue. Meanwhile, US Vice President J.D. Vance said Tehran had not yet acknowledged all of Washington's red lines. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer spoke to US President Donald Trump on Tuesday night about US-mediated Russia-Ukraine peace talks and talks between the US and Iran. The US military struck 3 alleged drug trafficking vessels in the Eastern Pacific and Caribbean, killing all 11 people on board. The United States on Tuesday has announced the first tranche of Japanese investments under a massive $550 billion commitment linked to a trade deal with President Donald Trump. Japan's lower house formally reappointed Sanae Takaichi as Prime Minister on Wednesday, 10 days after a historic landslide election victory. Philippine Vice President Sara Duterte said on Wednesday that she will run for president in the 2028 election. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. cannot seek re-election as the president is limited to a single 6-year term. Peru's ousted President Jose Jueri bid farewell to the cabinet at the gates of the government palace on Tuesday after Congress voted to remove him from office over a scandal. The majority of lawmakers found Jueri guilty of misconduct following a scandal over undisclosed meetings with a Chinese businessman and declared him unfit to hold the country's top office. A group of Peruvians celebrated the ouster of President Jueri and welcomed Congress' decision in Downtown Street, expressing their outrage at the president's scandals. Thousands of anti-government protesters gathered in Serbian capital Belgrade, calling for early elections and accountability after violence erupted a day earlier in Novi Sad. Kenyan airport workers called off a strike on Tuesday after 2 days of disruption that had caused flight delays and cancellations at one of Africa's busiest airports. Operations at Lithuania's Vilnius airport resumed after a short closure on Tuesday evening. The closure was due to weather balloons from Belarus entering its airspace on Tuesday night. The United Nations on Tuesday warned that nearly 3 years of conflict in Sudan have triggered an unprecedented displacement crisis. Newly elected lawmakers of the 13th Parliament in Bangladesh deferred over taking an additional oath as members of the proposed Constitutional Reform Council. As members of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party took oath only as members of Parliament, declining to recite the second pledge. All right, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching Express News on DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. Light rain lashed parts of Delhi on Wednesday, bringing much needed relief after an unusually warm spell in the national capital. The India Met Department issued a yellow alert for light rainfall in Delhi as a western disturbance influences weather over northwest India. The Indian Air Force is carrying out aerial firefighting operations in the northeast, tackling wildfires in Zuko Valley and Arunachal Pradesh. Excuse me. Mexico City remains under Phase 1 environmental contingency as authorities continue an air pollution alert due to high ozone levels. Residents of Denain in western France are using boats after flood submerged streets and homes. In New Zealand, heavy rain struck South Island, causing flooding and closing roads and bridges as a destructive storm system moved south from Wellington. 2 avalanches in the French Alps killed 3 people and injured 4. Rescue teams suspended operations amid fears of further slides. Search teams are combing mountainous areas of California after an avalanche left 10 backcountry skiers missing following heavy snowfall. Officials say 16 people were caught in an avalanche at Castle Peak in the Tahoe region. 6 have been located while 10 remain unaccounted for. Garbage clogged streets and overburdened landfills block Jakarta as Indonesia's capital battles a worsening waste management crisis. The cheetah population at Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh grows as South African cheetah Gamini gives birth to 3 cubs. Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates announced the start of Ramadan after crescent moon sighting. Palestinian artist Yazid Abu Jarrah sculpts welcome Ramadan in sand at Deir Bala Beach, Gaza Strip. Worshippers offer Taraweeh prayers at Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem as Ramadan begins. China's CCTV Spring Festival Gala highlights advances in humanoid robots and manufacturing. Hong Kong hosts Cathay International Night Parade to welcome the Year of the Horse. Catholics across the Philippines mark Ash Wednesday, beginning the Lenten season. Sky watchers gather at the South African Astronomical Observatory in Cape Town to witness a partial solar eclipse. London's Guildhall Yard hosts the annual Inter-Livery Pancake Race ahead of Lent. Revelers gather at Victuallen Market in Munich for the traditional market women carnival dance. Venice Carnival concludes with the Festa delle Mare and Grand Canal Gondola Parade. Kosovo marks 18 years of independence with a military parade in Pristina. New Orleans wraps up Carnival season with vibrant Mardi Gras parades. New York's Chinatown hosts its annual firecracker ceremony to celebrate the year of the fire horse. Rio de Janeiro keeps Carnival spirit alive with the historic Banda de Lapanema Street Parade. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce lays flowers at the Hollywood Walk of Fame star Oscar-winning actor Robert Duvall, who passed away at 95. British singer Charlie XCX attends the UK premiere of a mockumentary, The Moment. Tell Me Lies will conclude with its season 3 finale, confirms creator Megan Oppenheimer. Trailer of The Mandalorian and Grogu drops ahead of its theatrical and IMAX release on May 22, 2026. Makers of the Kerala Story 2 unveil the official trailer. Film releases February 27. Siva Karthikeyan reunites with Raj Kamal Films International for Tamil film Seyon, produced by Kamal Hassan. First look of supernatural thriller The Wardrobe Unveiled. Film releases April 24 this year. Bollywood actress Alia Bhatt to serve as presenter at the 2026 British Academy Film Awards. Anupa Parmeshwaran to headline director Shan's upcoming psychological thriller. Border 2 sees a slight uptick on its fourth Tuesday, collecting around Rs 70 to 75 lakh. India lock horns with the Netherlands in their final group match in Ahmedabad today. India have already sealed their spot in the Super 8s. New Zealand sealed their qualification to the next phase of the T20 World Cup with an 8-wicket win over Canada in Chennai. Canada's Yuvraj Samra earlier became the youngest player to score a T20 World Cup century when he blasted 110 in 65 balls in the first innings. The results eliminated the 2024 semi-finalists of Afghanistan as New Zealand joined South Africa as the two qualifiers for the Super 8s from Group D. Zimbabwe entered the Super 8 stage of the T20 World Cup after their crucial match against Ireland was washed out due to rain in Pallekele. Both teams were awarded 1 point each. As a result, former champion Australia and Ireland were eliminated from the tournament. Jammu and Kashmir have reached their maiden Ranji Trophy final with a dominant win over defending champions Bengal in Kalyani today. The Indian hockey team will be without regular captain Harmanpreet Singh for the Hobart leg of FIH Pro League 2025-26 season. World number 1 Carlos Alcaraz, Frenchman, and 60th ranked Valentin Royer in round 2 of Qatar Open today. Defending champions Paris Saint-Germain overcame a 2-goal deficit to beat AS Monaco 3-2 in the first leg of Champions League playoffs. Vinicius Junior helped Real Madrid edge past Benfica 1-0 in the first leg of the Champions League playoff tie. Elsewhere, Galatasaray stunned Juventus, beating Italians 5-2, and Borussia Dortmund seized the upper hand in their tie against Atlanta with a 2-0 victory. Norway's Tormod Frostad won gold in the men's freestyle skiing big air final at the Winter Olympics, while defending champion Berg Ruud finished 8th. Switzerland defeated Germany 8-4 to remain unbeaten in the men's curling competition and booked their spot in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, Sweden, who have been eliminated from the event, secured a 7-4 consolation win over Norway. Alright, that's all we have in this edition of Express News. Do stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.